Hi, today we're going to talk about chapter from about behaviorism. And in chapter 12, we talk about control and counter control, ethics and compassion, and how they affect our lives. On chapter 20, on page 206, there's a quote that I found that's also on one of the Skinner websites for learning, and it says that an organization should act to control the world around it as a characteristic of life as breathing or reproduction. And I think about control, we're often thinking about making things happen in our environment, and how we, things like predictability and variability, and understanding, being able to explain why things are happening, often makes us feel better. I'm recently getting over having type A flu, and when I found out, my first thought was, okay, how did I get this? Where did it come from? And as a way to make my world, put my world back into equilibrium. And so, I thought of what I had done. I'd been on a cruise, I'd been on airplanes. Any of these factors could have contributed to the fact that I had the avian flu, that I got it along the way. There are, but controlling our environment is something that I think all creatures like to do. I know my dog, she will do things to bring her toys around her, to, if it gets loud in my house, she will go to her crate and she'll lay there because that's where she knows it's peaceful and predictable. So, even my dog likes to have that control over their environment. Then we go on to counter control, which is the things that we do because of government regulations or religious laws or economic systems that can often counter control what we would like to do in our life. So, for example, I would like to spend my days traveling and exploring the world. However, I need money to do that, and I get money from working. And if I'm off traveling, I'm not working unless I could find a job where I'm traveling and working, but so far that hasn't happened. So that's one of the counter controls that controls my behavior and our environment, is economics. Another one could be religious. Personally, for me, I'm not a religious person. But I think a lot of the laws that are put in place by religions, things like, thou shalt not kill, are valid laws to live by, even if you don't believe in that religion. And then there's governmental laws, things that we do for the betterment of society. To put it better words, like, does it really matter if I was on the road and I was traveling and there's no one else on the road and I'm going 85 miles an hour? No. But it's against the law, because if there were cars on the road, that could be a problem, because not everyone's going to get out of my way as I drive down the highway. So that counter control is put into place for that. Then he goes on to talk about ethics and compassion, and I'm kind of torn on this one, because I get the idea that he doesn't really think about ethics and compassion. But really, ethics and compassion ethics anyway, is more of a continuation of the laws that we talked about earlier in counter control. Ethics are just a refined set of laws, at least that's how I look at it, as to how to do your job or not do your job, or what to do, what's not professional. So I think you can be, an ethical person or public servant minded with compassion. And that could be something that you could have seen, you could have modeled, you could be modeling, because from what I can see from from Skinner's book is that when you look at ethics and compassion, that it's really about the consequences of that counter control and the compassion that causes us to be compassionate. That when you look at the groups of individuals that are most easily targeted for maltreatment in this country, in this society, you look at the very young, the aged, the prisoners, the psychotics, and of the retarded, which I hate that term, but it's in the book. So it's often said that when you have people in charge of those people that lack compassion or a sense of ethics, that they'll be abused because there is no strong counter control, because they can't talk back, they can't express, they can't fight back without some sort of, if they're a prisoner, they can't fight back without some sort of punishment. So, it's something that is taught, but I'm wondering if someone has never seen compassion, if someone grew up in a household where they were the target of the abuse, how they would learn compassion. Would it be from some other external source, like maybe a grandparent or a teacher that somehow showed them compassion, and that in turn reinforced something good that they were trying to do for someone else? Darwin pointed out the survival value of altruistic behavior is pretty much an innate behavior that we have. We want our species to survive, so we're going to help other people who are in need to survive. I see it in the animal world also, where you see animals working together for a common goal, and it's really all about the bottom line is always about survival of the species. So I guess one of the things that I wanted to figure out a question is, like, are we in control of ourselves? We claim we control our own destiny. We don't, according to Skinner, we don't act in a compassionate manner unless we've been taught to act and reinforced for a compassionate manner, and even more innately, our survival of our species depends on us acting in a compassionate manner in some respects. So my question is, are we in control of ourselves? I'm interested to find out where this goes. Thanks.